I did talk about blogging already. Blogging can be a really effective way to get feedback on something that's happening in your company or something that's, that you're talking about, a phrase that you're trying out, an idea that you're trying out. And then backtype.com is another great website that will also, kind of let you know, if something's being mentioned, that type of thing. So check it out. Okay.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
I'm trying to, I put it down and I'm drawing a blank right now because anybody can help me out now because I am drawing a blank on backtype.com. I know that I've used it. Huh? Yeah, you could look it up for me and we can come back to it. Perfect. I love that.
To Google Alerts in a way?
It is similar. It is similar. It's another way to monitor online presence. Yeah. So here's a copy or a visual of Google Reader, and you can see, I've got all these different subscriptions to all these RSS feeds, and it's just a great way for me to just glance through articles really, really quickly, and again, maybe even see if something's being mentioned.
Can you subscribe on Google Reader, then you just tell it which RSS feeds you want to
Yeah.
see?
Yep. Does this have a thing? Yeah. Cool. If you have to have a Gmail account. Okay? But if you type in a search term, it'll pop up a ton of different feeds on that search term. And so then you can just click on the one that you want to subscribe to, and it's really, really easy to do that. So it's a really great way to do it. And here's just an example of a blog, actually, of a CEO. When I actually did a little bit of research to see how many CEOs, okay, are, and this kind of dovetails into what Gordon was talking about, see how many CEOs are really, present digitally. Very, very few of them are, but here's an example of one who is blogging and is talking about, in this case, a recent blog post about a product that they're proud of. How effective is that? How impactful can that be? Not only for him, for his personal brand, but for his company as well. All right, so a couple more things. Monitor it. Going back to LinkedIn. You can see how many times somebody has, viewed your profile to see how effective you are in getting yourself out there. Recommendations are really important. Think about going back and getting more recommendations from people. That can really strengthen your presence. And getting involved in groups. The Link Local Naperville is the one that put this on. That's a LinkedIn group, right? So think about getting more involved in groups as a way to craft your presence. And here's just an example of, here, this profile has been viewed by 7 people in the last 3 days. Kind of to see, how effective messages have been going out. And this is a nice new feature that I don't know how many of you have noticed, but company updates. So really, there's a lot, LinkedIn is really pushing on the whole company, the company side. All right, so the last bit for your personal digital presence is to dominate it. Because again, if you're not crafting it yourself, somebody else might. You want to be consistent across all the platforms. And for those of you in that management tier, quality. Quality over quantity. We're not advising that you spend 3 hours a day on this stuff, unless you're in the social media. Otherwise, quality is really, really good. But being present shows fresh thinking, shows that you're not afraid of the technology that is out there. And you can do your own damage control if you need to, because you've already overwhelmed the internet with positives about you. And you don't have that mistake of negatives coming with nothing to balance it out. So, yes?
We should add a question about the website. Let's say that you can't get a website like jeffpalmer.com, right, and you get an abbreviation or something like that. Then is there any good way of linking it to your name?
Yeah, it's a great question. He's asking what if you can't get jeffpalmer.com? Well, then perhaps you try to get a phrase that, I use it, the phrase that pays, some kind of tagline that you like to use. Or maybe it's something that, really speaks about you, but then, you're putting that URL, that domain name, in everything that you're sending out. Your signature, your LinkedIn account, your Facebook profile, etc. So that's a way around that. Because, people don't even intuitively usually think, oh, I'm just going to type in somebody's, name for a domain name. But you still own it if you can. So, thank you very much. That's what I have tonight. Any other questions before we have like 30 seconds, 10 seconds? I don't know. 0 seconds. Okay, then. I think people are tired. They need to go. Okay.
Well,
thank you very much.
I just want to tell you, if you are overwhelmed by social media yourself and you have a business and you really need help doing it, Manditech will be there for you, and you can give them a call and they'll tell you how to get their help on that. I just want to mention one more thing. Thank you everybody for coming, but I wanted to mention one thing. We're going to have another workshop here on June 30th. It'll be probably in this room called Are You a Used Car or a Pre-Owned Certified? This is going to be I'm going to host it, but our speaker is Stephen Brooks of Gugos, and he has a fresh way of thinking on, I like that word, fresh thinking, I love it now, we're going to use it all the time. In a little bit different on the video about the YouTube that she was bringing up, they do cover letter videos, and so he's going to talk a little bit about feeling, his subject is going to be if you're feeling rejected or being overlooked based on your age. So that seems to be something that's of interest, and you want to hear more about the cover letter videos. Be here June 30th at 3 o'clock, and I have flyers here if anybody wants one. Just